Local restaurant executive Gerard Holland says he was confused when he saw the police lights.
I pulled you over because you swerved.
The son of a Chicago police officer, Holland says he was the designated driver for a coworker after working overnight when he was pulled over by Illinois State Police Trooper Kevin Bradley. After speaking with Holland, Trooper Bradley wrote in his report he could smell the odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from the vehicle.
We're going to relocate.
Suspecting DUI, Bradley asked Holland to continue driving down the road to a gas station. There, Bradley accused Holland of driving drunk. When asked if he would submit to field sobriety tests, Holland calmly refused.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm ready back. For what reason? I'll be under arrest for driving under the influence.
In this dashboard camera footage, you can see the trooper searching through Holland's things before his car was impounded. Later that day, when Holland needed his MacBook, he noticed it wasn't on his inventory slip. He says he assumed it must be with his car at the tow yard.
I decided to ping my MacBook, which was missing, and it pinged to an address.
Using Apple's Find My feature, Holland says his MacBook pinged at a Tinley Park home instead.
When you got to the door, what happened?
Well, I was met by him.
Him was Trooper Bradley.
He denied it and began to argue with me, and I decided to call the police.
This is a recording of that call.
I have an iMac that was stolen last night.
And what did they say when you confronted them then?
Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
My iPad. How else would I find your address?
And once I called the police, he requested that I hang the phone up.
I'll hang up.
This cell phone video picks up shortly after that 911 call, recorded by Holland's wife, who was waiting in his car. You can see the trooper walk out and hand Holland his MacBook. The trooper even opens his garage door to show Holland his state police vehicle.
It was a very traumatic interaction with him.
A Tinley Park dispatcher eventually called Holland back.
Is everything okay? You're fine?
Yeah, he's a police officer. For some reason, he took my MacBook home with him.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
You probably want to speak to a supervisor over there.
That's what Holland did. He filed a complaint with the Illinois State Police, and the I-Team obtained a copy of the state's internal investigation. According to the findings, investigators determined Trooper Bradley never reported this interaction with Holland to his supervisors, nor did he make note of it in his reports. According to a transcript of an interview with internal investigators, when Bradley was asked why he took the laptop, he said he was doing Holland a favor. I kept it for his courtesy, like I said with his phone, key, and wallet. It's my mistake. I forgot to give him his stuff back, and he tracked it. The report states investigators determined Bradley had violated state police policies, and he was suspended for 1 day.
I feel disheartened by that.
And I'm outraged.
Brendan Brown is Holland's attorney.
What if he didn't have the Find My iPhone application?
After months of court hearings for the DUI charges,
The most rewarding thing for me was receiving a not guilty verdict.
a bench trial found Holland not guilty. He's now suing the state and Trooper Bradley. Bradley did not respond to the I-Team's repeated requests for comment, but in court filings, attorneys representing the state and Bradley have argued Holland's lawsuit should be dismissed, as the trooper has sovereign immunity as a member of law enforcement, and that it was a lawful traffic stop.
To all units, proceed to your post assignments. All units, proceed to your post assignments.
That's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the beast.
Yeah, baby, it's episode 44 of Probable Cause on August 18th, 2026. The heat wave continues. Oh, I am so sick of summer, but I'm so happy to see my friend Greg Dillon, the FBI whistleblower, joining me, America's sweetheart. Although fraudulently, there are those now claiming that Sophie Cunningham is America's sweetheart, and I'm trying to figure out how to file a lawsuit. That is very upsetting. But luckily, I love Sophie, so I might let it slide. How are you tonight, Greg?
I am very fine, thank you, Mr. Jeff. And you can both be America's sweetheart simultaneously.
Oh, you are such a problem solver. Why did I assume it has to be one or the other? It can be both.
It's not binary. We could have both.
All right, non-binary. That's the way to go. And for those of you who are craving a weather report in Somerville, North Carolina, let me just satiate your curiosity. Somerville John reporting 93 degrees and sunny in Somerville, South Carolina. All right. It was 100 degrees today in Wilmington. Wow. With the humidity, heat factor, whatever the hell they call it, 116. I am so sick of summer. I'm looking into places for next summer to get out of here for maybe a month or two.
Well, we're looking at a comfortable 79 degrees presently here in Connecticut.
All right. Well, save that weather for me there. I'm going to be there probably in about a week.
Looking forward to it.
Well, thank you. All right. So I don't know how you felt, but I was just overwhelmed I almost in tears, actually, seeing what a nice officer that was to do a favor and take that guy's computer home for him. Do you ever do favor? When you were a cop, did you ever do favors like that?
Yeah. One time I actually did a real favor and it came back to bite me. But moving along into that video, I have never seen a police officer stop a car for suspected drunken driving and allow the operator to move the vehicle.
Oh, that's a good observation. I didn't even notice that. But yeah.
Right. Because he can either just leave the scene and now you have a pursuit, or he can actually hit another car while he's under the influence, and now you are responsible for that accident.
Well, does the cop have any argument at all in that it might have been an unsafe spot where they were? Like, what are they supposed to do if it's really very unsafe at that particular spot?
Well, he has the overhead lights. Yeah, all motor vehicle stops are to some degree unsafe. Some more unsafe than others. I've seen instances where a second officer will respond. They'll remove the occupants, and one officer will just move the car a little bit further off to the shoulder to make it a little safer, but not let the operator that you suspect is drunk continue to operate the vehicle.
Right. Well, on the other hand, if the driver isn't really drunk, then it's not dangerous.
Correct, but you don't know that when you're pulling the person over because you suspect he is drunk.
Well, you might not actually suspect he's drunk if your name is Trooper Kevin Bradley.
Yeah, I don't know what the pretense is for that stop. Next, when he does get him in the gas station, and I never understand this, I don't think it's taught this way in the academy. You don't pat down someone for weapons and then put them in handcuffs.
You do the handcuffs first. You do the handcuffs.
Absolutely. Because if you have a gun in your waistband and you feel him patting you down from your shoulders and moving down, you now have the opportunity to take that weapon out of your waistband. If you handcuff the person first, then you can find the gun safely. But when you do it in that order, you lost all tactical advantage. So this guy's a disaster right out of the gate. He only had 2 strikes against him.
He's known as the top cop in Illinois. Now, before I tell you why he's known as the top cop, I didn't just make it up when I made that headline, top cop. He is known as the top cop. Did you notice any other mistakes that might contravene the acknowledgement of being the top cop?
Well, I mean, it was an abbreviated video, so I'm not sure what sobriety test that he gave that guy, but that guy struck me as quite sober.
Well, he very well could be. Let me tell you a couple of things that I learned about Trooper Kevin Bradley, who had a very nice hat, just like all the state troopers do. He is known as the top cop in Illinois because he had the most DUI arrests of any state cop 3 years in a row. Total of 528 DUI arrests. Does that strike you as a lot?
It does strike me as a lot.
Well, it was 150 more than any other officer.
But my question is this.
What?
What were the disposition of those 500-something arrests?
174 cases were dismissed or found not guilty. He was also found to have copy and pasted the reports for different arrests from just one arrest to the other. The Alliance Against Intoxicated Motorists, some sort of a nonprofit in Illinois, is the organization that gave him that honor of the top cop. Not only that, but MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, gave him their prestigious Hero Award. Many of the people that were prosecuted for drunk driving after he arrested them maintained that they were completely sober.
Yeah, they probably cannot afford to litigate the charges and took some sort of a reduced plea.
Yeah. See, different people have different circumstances. In this case, the guy had that tracking device in his iMac, which Trooper Bradley probably didn't think of. Although it's hard to imagine that he didn't think that the guy would start saying, "Hey, where's my iMac?"
Yeah.
You know.
Well, here's the thing, Jeff. If you get away with it a couple of times, then you start to think that no one is going to ever question or challenge what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, you in your book, which I encourage everybody to buy, The Thin Blue Lie, and you could get it at US Tour of Duty or at Greg's website, thinblueliebook.com, and he'll even autograph it for you if you ask nicely. You in your book refer to yourself as a Boy Scout type of cop. So I already know you would have never taken anything, but did you work with officers who had, as we say on the streets, sticky fingers?
I only saw it one time, and it was a very petty sort of a thing. We went to we found a open door of a business, and the officer I was with decided to help himself to a small hunting knife that was on the display counter.
Oh,
and I was still part-time at the time, and I decided that maybe it would be best if I didn't see it.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah,
you still have your Boy Scout status.
Yeah, I know, but I suspect if I had been a full-timer with a little more experience, either the other officer would not have done it, or I would have asked him to rethink his decision.
Right. Well, I commented before on the trooper's hat. What is it about state cops? It seems to be like what they all wear everywhere, right? Why does state cops wear those big, conspicuous, shall we say, hats, as opposed to local police departments? Is there some story behind that, a custom, a reason for it?
I mean, I think for the same reason that soldiers in ancient times used to wear large tunics or plumes or elaborate helmets, because it gave the appearance of authority and of a larger sized person.
Right.
And I just think it became tradition. You know, it's just a historical sort of a thing at this point.
Right, right. There's a former cop. I think he was like a deputy sheriff or something like that in Maine for about 7 years, who's no longer a cop. He's now a comedian. And he has a theory that you can tell whether or not you're going to get a ticket based on how the trooper wears his hat. Let's take a look and see if you agree with this.
How, by the way, a cop wears his hat, whether he's going to give you a ticket or not, okay? I'll give you a little tip, okay? If they wear the hat, this was the summer hat, by the way. If they wear it like this, okay? This guy is giving you a ticket. Right? This guy is giving you a warning. This guy is asking you for directions.
What do you think? Is he onto something there?
I think there's some truth to that, most likely.
The first one, especially, right?
Because I saw a photograph on Facebook of a guy getting a haircut, and it was such a drastic flat top. It was like this. When you go to your barber, you ask him, "I want the haircut that says I would give my own mother a traffic ticket."
Yeah, the most severe look imaginable.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in that first instance, we saw how technology can benefit the good guy. And here is another example of technology.
Jeff, are we done with that? Because, I mean, I'm trying to get my head wrapped around the fact that he got a 1-day suspension. That should have been a termination.
Oh, no, we don't have to be done on that. I want you to let it all out.
The IA investigation, the internal affairs investigation should have resulted in a recommendation of termination. And a criminal prosecution for larceny. I mean, initially he denies having it, and then he discovers it.
Yeah,
so
he didn't discover it. He didn't discover it. The guy went to his house.
Well, I'm saying discovering it, you know, in air quotes, discovering it.
And now that guy is suing him. By the way, that guy's going to be an excellent plaintiff. Did you notice how polite he was, and he wasn't even getting upset or anything.
Very well spoken, very composed. His father was a police officer. Oh yeah, no, I mean,
yeah. When he testifies in court, the jury's going to buy it. Yeah,
absolutely. He's more professional than the trooper that arrested him.
Well, that's a high jump over a low hurdle, Greg. Yeah, well, you say only suspended for a day, but he actually is out now. It didn't even make sense. If I had time, I would have looked into it more. Mm-hmm. But he's like on sick leave or injury leave. But then where I read that, it said because of what happened. Well, if it's because of what happened, why are they calling it injury leave? Was that in the news report, or did I see that somewhere else?
You must have saw that somewhere else. I don't remember seeing that or hearing that.
No, I thought that's what they said. Anyway, I saw it somewhere.
Could be.
Yeah.
But I think I was hung up on the 1-day suspension thing.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he's not working now, so they're trying to, they asked him for comment, and he's like out on whatever leave, sick leave, I think they call it.
Yeah. Okay.
But it doesn't make sense, right? I mean, if he's suspended for disciplinary reasons because of that incident, it wouldn't be sick leave. So, but what I read, it said because of what happened, he's out.
No, but it looks like he took a 1-day hit. So the rest of the time off is not going to be for suspended without pay. It's going to be.
Oh, maybe it's a paid vacation. Yeah.
Whatever he's using up is either sick time or vacation time or PL time or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a look at another video. This is another example of technology at play in the world of law enforcement. In this case, well, let me just show the video and you'll see what you think.
Shoes or anything on you?
Are you me, man?
I'm not.
This morning, a Florida husband and father is suing multiple law enforcement agencies after being wrongfully arrested, he says, due to a flawed AI facial recognition technology.
I don't wish this on my worst enemy.
Tell you what, man, I'm going to put you in the cuff in the front.
This is nuts.
Police body camera video obtained by our affiliate Gulf Coast News showing the 2024 arrest outside Robert Dillon's home.
I was basically telling him this is crazy. I have no idea who did this, but it's not me.
Authorities were looking for a suspect who tried to lure a child at a restaurant in Jacksonville Beach, more than 300 miles away.
To be accused of a heinous crime of that nature, I'm thinking I may not be coming back home.
Investigators submitted surveillance images of the suspect into a facial recognition program, which revealed a 93% match of facial features to Dillon. But not only was Dillon incorrectly identified, he's never even been to Jacksonville Beach.
I argued with the police officer for 20 minutes, and he insisted that I know that I'm looking at your mugshot.
Weeks after his arrest, the state attorney's office dropped the case, but it took nearly a year to wipe it from his record.
It's horrible that this AI is put in the hands of people that aren't qualified to use it.
We've reached out to all law enforcement agencies being sued by Dillon with the help of the ACLU. Only the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office responded. They're the ones who oversee the use of the technology. They said, in part, the assertion that PCSO failed to train is patently false. And they also said it was wrong for the Jacksonville Beach police officer to arrest someone based solely on facial recognition.
Well, too bad we didn't see what the mugshot looked like. We could compare whether it was close to how he really looked or not. But I think the guy should be charged with some sort of crime for pronouncing heinous. But other than that, I'm on his side.
We'll give him a suspended sentence on that one. But see, the ending of that was the correct way, right? You've made a possible identification, right? You obtain proof of identification of who the person is. And then you start your investigation to see, is there a possibility this is the same person? But he got out in front of his skis on that, and they made the arrest before they did the investigation. The investigation should precede the arrest.
Yeah, and a lot of the criticism that comes out, I think people are mistaking officers failing to perform their duties correctly and instead blaming it on the technology.
Right. The technology wasn't at fault here. The officer was at fault.
Yeah, I agree. Did you see My Cousin Vinny?
A long time ago, yeah.
Remember her, the judge? Fred Gwynn.
Yep.
Yeah. This is how he pronounces heinous.
Commit this heinous crime.
Hyenas.
Actually, Fred Gwynn didn't look all that much different than the guy that they were trying to arrest there. There was a little family resemblance there, I think.
I used to play that clip periodically on Ask the Inspector with Scott Ritter.
Yeah.
And, you know, in the spirit of like just injecting it as a joke, right?
Yeah.
So somebody left us a voicemail thinking that like we didn't know. So here's the voicemail that he left.
The pronunciation of the word is heinous.
All right. Got it. Thanks.
Thank you, Professor. We appreciate the help.
Yeah. You could just tell by the way he said it that he is a real anal stickler.
Yeah. He's the New York Times crossword puzzle champion right there.
A lot of fun at parties.
Right.
The pronunciation of the word is heinous.
That pause, that annoying pause, that pregnant pause.
That condescending pause.
All right, let's continue with our theme here of technology and how it affects the world of law enforcement nowadays. Flock cameras are in the news. Have you paid much attention to that?
Big buzz in Connecticut about them, yeah.
What's the buzz? Tell me the nature of the buzz. I'll sip some water while you're...
Yeah, well, if I'm getting the right read on it, it seems to be a very unpopular technology with the population, much more popular with the police departments.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what the answer is, but I am sure what the question is, which is how do we weigh the benefits against the downside? Obviously, privacy is a legitimate concern.
But Jeff,
but so is law enforcement.
Privacy. People say when we have a constitutional right to, not be subject. It's like, where in the Constitution does it say that you have a right to not be observed in public? I don't understand when they keep saying it's against the Constitution.
Well, that's a very good question for somebody who's making that argument, but I'm not.
Okay.
All I said is it's a legitimate concern.
Well,
I didn't say it's unconstitutional.
Okay. No, but I'm saying that seems to be the commentary on all these Facebook posts is this is unconstitutional. It's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. And I'm thinking,
well, people are idiots.
Smart when you say
people are idiots. You're talking to America's sweetheart now. You're not talking to some idiot.
No. But I'm just saying that argument always falls flat, but they think it sounds so profound when they're making it.
Oh, yeah, I know. Love it when people get on their high horse and they just reveal their ignorance, right?
But anytime you leave your property, right, you don't have any right to privacy at that point. Anybody can record you. Anybody can photograph you. Anybody can watch you.
Yes, that's a very good point. I mean, it's already been established by numerous court decisions that if you, meaning an ordinary person is out in public, they're entitled to take pictures if they want to, and they don't need anybody's permission unless it's in a place where you have an expectation of privacy, like a bathroom or something like that. But otherwise, you don't need anybody's permission. So that given the case, then obviously if ordinary people are entitled to it, then the police are. However, Greg, if I may call you Greg, I know I'm being a little too informal maybe, that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be some limitations imposed. And in fact, I think we should do a show on this and have some experts, I don't know about some, but one or two guests who have some expertise in this field. In fact, I just read an interesting article about this at reason.com. They're libertarians, but they were giving both sides of the argument. And there can be some limitations, I think, such as, how many of these cameras there are and what sort of access the police have to whatever was recorded. Things like that can be addressed that way as opposed to just saying not.
But what is their magic number? Like they want limitations, but it's like, so 10 cameras per 100 square miles. I mean, what formula are they trying to use for this? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think it's the beginning of the conversation.
Okay.
They would have to come up with something like that, you know. One specific thing I remember saying that's been proposed is that the police can't get access to it without a court warrant if it's over 24 hours. So in other words, if there's some emergency going on, they're not going to make them go to court. The police can get access to it. But if it's older than that, they need a warrant. Stuff like that. Again, this is the beginning of the conversation. Don't freak out too much. We got to do a whole show on it.
No, I get it. But are we trying to create unnecessary obstacles for police to do their jobs by requiring them to jump through that hoop?
Well, whether or not it's necessary or unnecessary is a matter of opinion. That's the discussion. It's a matter of whether or not you're going to give any weight at all to privacy. Or any way to see, police are using it to like stalk their ex-girlfriends.
No, I understand, but the way, you know, NCIC, the National Crime Index computer, you know, years ago, if on a whim I saw, let's say, an attractive girl in a convertible, and I was working and I ran her plate, they would just run the plate. Nobody cared. Now, you know, it's going to be logged in. What officer requested that information? You know, what's the time? What's the date? And there's a record of it. So
yeah. Well, in fact, that's what the flock company says. They're making the argument that this has been going on for years.
Correct.
And for the most part, people didn't know about it. Now, when it happens, people know about it. That's the flock.
But it used to be very loosey-goosey, where anybody could call in a plate. There was never any significance attached to it. You know, now you need a case number, and you know, it is your badge number that goes next to it, and the date and the time and the location. So there's a record to go back and recreate. Why was that information accessed? What was the purpose of it, and who made the request? And I think that went a long way from people just throwing, you know, randomly running plates just out of curiosity to say, hey, who's parked down my street? I don't recognize the car, you know, when you're off duty, or who's that hot looking babe driving around with that convertible? I want to know her name. So that killed that right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when we have a guest or two who has some expertise in this, I want to hear you make the argument. Right now, I'm just a wonderful person who's acknowledging that, you know, there's competing concerns. I find it interesting. I'm not arguing. Hey, before we go on, let me thank our beloved sponsor, Goldco, and I want to remind our beloved audience to visit probablecause.gold to get your free gold and silver kit that explains how precious metals can diversify your retirement. Right now, they're also running a limited time promotion. Qualifying customers are eligible for a free solar generator. What do you make of them apples? Just go to probablecause.gold to get more info and see if you qualify.
It sounds like a sweet enticement to get people interested. And I'm happy I bought my silver when I did.
All right. Well, I look forward to you and I having side-by-side summer homes when we cash in about 8 years.
80.
No. All right, let's take a look at this news report about an incident involving a flock camera.
Okay.
Hey guys, well, the Columbine Valley Police Chief has since voided the court summons against this woman, but she says she never should have been.
Hold on a second. Let me fix that.
Okay.
Technical problem.
Hey guys, well, the Columbine Valley Police Chief has since voided the court summons against this woman, but she says she never should have been accused in the first place. She says her car was never at the address where that package was stolen.
You know we have cameras in that town, and you can't get a breath of fresh air in or out of that place without us knowing, correct?
On September 27th, the Columbine Valley police officer came to Chrisanna Elser's door and issued her a summons to appear in court, accusing her of stealing a $25 package in the town of Bomar. The officer said he had doorbell video of the theft and had tracked her car in the area using flock cameras.
It is locked in. There is zero doubt. I wouldn't have come here unless I was 100% sure. 100%.
The only problem with this case, she wasn't there, and she had the evidence to prove it. Dash camera video from her car, a log of her location from Google Maps, and doorbell video of her walking into her tailor's house when the package was stolen.
He just kept telling me that any evidence I had wasn't worth it.
Because you have not been honest with me, so I'm not going to extend you any courtesy of showing you a video when I don't need to.
But I can show you videos.
No, you cannot.
After a few weeks, Elser was able to get in touch with the police chief, who wrote her in an email, quote, "After reviewing evidence you have provided, nicely done by the way, we have voided the summons that was issued." But Elser says she shouldn't have needed to prove her innocence and worries flock cameras can paint a picture police will rely too heavily on.
They need to be used properly and be used with caution in a conversation versus we're now going to use this to accuse anybody and everybody.
All right, is this another example of police misbehavior rather than a problem with the technology?
It would seem to be, yeah. I think he was a little overly confident in his in his evidence, whatever it actually was. But once somebody is adamant that it's not them, I think it's time to pause and reevaluate what you have as evidence to make sure that you're on the right track.
Yeah, be aware that you can't be 100% sure. And this guy, I have another clip that really reveals even more how this guy was so positive that he was right. And of course, now we can be Monday morning quarterbacks and mock him for it. But, you know, cops should learn their lesson from this. This woman really suffered, too, because here in the headline, as you see, she was in legal hell for 7 months. She actually went to jail, I think, for a couple of weeks.
On a $25 package?
Yeah, I may be wrong on the duration, but she was in jail for some period of time, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was freaking out that, you know, she might have to go to prison even though she didn't even do anything wrong. Yeah. Here, let me show you, this is from a different, I think this is this is the body cam of the cop. You can see how sure he was of himself.
Cameras everywhere in that town. You can't get a breath of fresh air in or out without us knowing. You know the quality on the camera doorbell you have.
Yep.
I've got that on my phone right now of you taking that package.
Where is this place?
I just told you.
I don't know what it is.
Okay, I have you on camera.
Okay.
You taking a package and walking away. Is there any reason why you would have done that?
Nope.
You were in town from 11:52 until 12:09. Exactly. Like I said, nothing gets in or out of the town without us knowing about it.
52 a.m.?
Yes.
On the second. See, I need
And,
my phone and all this crap.
and here, well, I can show you. And here's when you left at 12:09. That's when you left town.
To get.
No, to stop at Ridge Trail
Wait a minute.
and take a package. Well, there's no shushing. I don't need to be.
I need to know where this is.
It doesn't matter. I'll be giving this all to you. If you're going to deny it to me, I am not going to help you with any courtesy. It is her. It is 100%. It is locked in. There is zero doubt. I wouldn't have come here unless I was 100% sure. 100%. It is certain. It is on video. You're obviously welcome to go to court.
Okay, by video evidence, you have the ring and you have my truck. And that is it.
Nope. Everybody in the town of Bomar has a camera.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
I'm just telling you. I know it's unbelievable to you. I get that. I get that this is a shock to you. But I am telling you, this is a lock. 100%, no doubt.
Okay, so it's 100% doubt a lock.
It's 100%, no doubt, a lock. She did this. I'm sorry, but it's true. I don't make these things up. So there's your summons. Like I said, it is December 2nd at 8:30 in the morning at 100 Jefferson County Parkway. And obviously you are welcome to, well, you have to appear for this.
Well, there's no way we can see this video or anything now.
If you go to court, you may.
Why can't we see it now?
Because you have not been honest with me, so I'm not going to extend you any courtesy of showing you a video when I don't need
But
to.
I can show you videos.
No, you cannot.
Yes,
I can show you.
Okay, show me then.
No, you're not being honest with
All right,
me.
we'll get our attorney.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Please do, because I've got to video you.
That's pretty Kafka-esque. You know, confess to the crime, and then I'll show you the video. If not,
Yeah,
we're not going to look into this. Yeah.
If you wanted, if you wanted to convince the person to be to confess, I would think you'd want to show them the video to prove just how strong your case was, and not say, "Well, if you're not going to cooperate, I won't show you my evidence."
Yeah. Anyway,
That's a catch-22. I guess you'd have to say I did it, so then he could show her the evidence and then say, "See, that's not me."
Yeah. Of course, it's not. I mean, she knew she didn't do it. The husband probably more or less knew because he knows his wife doesn't do that kind of stuff. So
I would hope, yeah.
they were like the other guy in the first video, you know, very polite considering the outrage that they were being confronted with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's an app out now. Hold, I got to, let me, there's an app out now called the Flock Hopper. And this, what is, I'm sorry, I gotta learn how to do this. I'm sorry. All right. So this is an app called the Flock Hopper. And it tells you where there's flock cameras in case you want to drive in an area where there aren't any or aren't as many.
It's ridiculous because people have Ring cameras that are recording your cars. You're driving down that street.
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't know that Ring cameras get as much of the vehicular traffic, though, as the flock cameras out on the street.
No. I mean, they're not designed to track cars. They're designed to track people more. But
yeah.
I'm just saying that this just seems to be a very cumbersome, awkward way of trying to fly below the radar, so to speak.
Yeah. All right, let us move on. And
Oh, by the way, in Milford, they just arrested someone for vandalizing 3 of the flock cameras they have.
yeah, people are vandalizing them, right? Yeah, that's a big deal in this app. All kinds of stuff. By the way, let's mention to folks that you're going to be speaking at the Wallingford Library on September 1st, and therefore you won't be on Probable Cause that
I'll have to miss this one. Yep.
Yeah. So let's give people the info there. There it is. You can. It's a free event, but reservations are recommended because there's limited space. And the phone number to call if you happen to be anywhere near Wallingford, Connecticut, or plan to be on September 1st, the number is 203-435-8512. Isn't the Wallingford Library the place that for a while refused to allow you on the premises and you had your panties in a twist about that?
Well, that most of that is true, other than the last part of that statement, but yes.
It's a figure of speech, Greg.
I took offense, I think would be fair to say.
All right.
They didn't change their mind. We just created our own venue.
You mean the organization booked you? The organization that booked you booked the room too, as
Correct.
opposed to the library booking you.
Correct. Yeah, it is.
You
not,
beat the system, Greg. You beat the system.
It is not. It is not a Wallingford Public Library sanctioned event, but we're still going to be there speaking.
Wow, that sounds very clandestine. It's an unsanctioned event. There we go. We'll just run that for a while to make sure people figure out how to find you.
Well, it's been approved. Let me say it's been approved by the Wallingford Library, only probably begrudgingly because all of the rooms there are eligible to be reserved by civic organizations. So a civic organization opted to host me to come in and speak.
Right. It's a political group, right?
Correct. It is Connecticut. It is the Connecticut Republican Assembly.
All right. Well, good luck with that. We'll miss you on September
Thank you.
1st. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, have you ever gone to a hospital with a suspect that you have arrested and had to deal with something or other there.
Yep, not that uncommon, yeah.
Not that uncommon. All right, let's take a look at a video about that. Coming any minute now. Any minute. Here we go. No, I'm sorry. I got it.
That's all right.
All right. Here we go.
We're done. We're done. You're under arrest. We're going. We're done.
Sir, Brad, I'm just putting on speaker so you can. So I have this. It says obtaining blood samples for police enforcement from patients suspected to be under the influence. The three things that allow us to do that are if you have an electronic warrant, patient consent, or patient under arrest. And neither of those things, the patient can't consent. He's told me repeatedly that he doesn't have a warrant, and the patient is not under arrest. So I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do. That's all. So.
Okay, so I take it without those in place, I'm not going to get blood. Is that? Am I fair to surmise that?
Why are you blaming the messenger, sir?
She's the one that has told me no.
Yeah, but sir, you're making a huge mistake right now.
Okay.
Like you're making a huge mistake because you're threatening a nurse.
Okay. No, we're done. We're done. You're under arrest. We're going. We're done.
Sir,
I said we're done. We're done. I said we're done.
Hey, stop it. I have suspended administration on the way. Sir, hey, please. Whoa. I have administration.
She can sit in my car while we're coming.
This is unnecessary.
Never abuse a nurse. Salt of the earth. Am I right, Greg?
Correct.
That's the last person to abuse.
It should be a cooperative effort there. There should not be adversarial.
What I don't understand is if one of the reasons that would entitle the cop to take blood or breath or whatever he wanted to do is if the person is under arrest, why didn't he just simply arrest the person?
I know he kind of he kind of forgot the order of which he was supposed to do it. It would have been easier to arrest the person he wanted the blood from than the nurse who refused to take it.
Yeah, well, I mean, could he have made the arrest in the hospital? Is there any reason he couldn't have?
Well, I mean, I'm guessing he didn't have enough probable cause to make an arrest. It seems like.
Oh, right, yeah, because you do the if you're out on the road, you do the test first, and then you decide whether or not to arrest them.
Right, but that's assuming that this is a DUI suspect. I'm not sure what the circumstances.
Yeah,
were.
That's what they said. They
did.
Yeah. Here, hang on a second. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble.
We're done.
Sir, Brad, I'm just putting on speaker so you can.
Well, he wants to draw blood. Why else? It would be either drugs or alcohol, right?
Correct, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's because of a DUI.
Oh, okay. What could it be? Oh, there might have been a fight or something?
Well,
who cares if the person was drunk if there's a fight? It's all about the fight, not being drunk if there was a fight, right?
True. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm thinking you're probably correct, but I'm trying to rack my brain to think how he would be there under those circumstances when it was not a DUI.
Yeah, we're applying rational motives to somebody who may not be rational.
Yeah, plus it's a detective, so it's like, well, why is the detective investigating a DUI accident anyway? I'm not quite
Former
sure.
detective, he was fired because of that.
Yeah, well, that's good. he shouldn't not have made it to the level of a detective either.
Yeah. Let's take a look. I haven't been looking at the comments too much tonight. Somerville John, that video is really bad for the actions of the police. Somerville John thinking quite clearly, even though he's battling 93-degree weather. Helen, she's agreeing with her boyfriend Jeff here. You do not mess with the salt of the earth. You do not. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? All right. Here's one about a scam. The police officer, his heart was in the right place. I'm not sure that's his specific way of handling it, and what he said was the best that he could have done in terms of collecting evidence and maybe doing something about it. See if you agree. This is a woman who was feeding money into a cryptocurrency machine because some guy in India was telling her she had to. An elderly woman, she's like putting thousands of dollars in, and somebody in the store saw what was going on and called 911.
Still haven't gotten her name right, you freaking moron.
A patrol sergeant is responding to a rather unusual 911 call.
So I'm at the Chevron right here off of 2025 Cherry Lane. I was in here getting money out of the ATM, and I noticed an elderly lady feeding thousands of dollars into the cryptocurrency machine. And the people on the phone sound like foreigners, and they have her like FaceTiming to make sure that she's putting the money in the machine. I just don't think she's aware that she's like what she's doing.
The sergeant parks his vehicle and makes contact with the caller.
Hello.
She's at $23,000 already.
Where's she at right now?
In the corner of the store, an elderly lady is feverishly feeding cash into a cryptocurrency machine.
Hey, ma'am.
Yes.
Can I talk to you for a second?
Please, I have the bank on the phone.
Okay, let me talk to who you're talking to on the bank.
I'm in danger. This
Okay,
is
no, you're
Chase
not,
Bank.
ma'am.
This is Chase Bank.
Let me talk to them. Okay, stop putting money in there. Hello?
Just show me the screen, right?
Yeah, who is this?
This is the security team. So, Christine,
No, you're not. Chase Bank does not take Bitcoin.
Please allow me to speak to the customer.
No, you're not going to speak with the customer anymore. You have already spoken to the customer enough.
I'm done.
No, listen to me. Listen to me. She is not clicking on anything. Do you really want to fight this fight with me?
That's not your problem.
Yes, it is my problem because what you're doing is committing a crime. That makes it my problem. If you were in my presence right now, you would be in handcuffs going to jail.
Problem. What you are trying to do, Christine?
You still haven't gotten her name right, you freaking moron. I hope someone does this to your mother. We're done. Bye.
2025.
Thank you.
You're welcome, baby.
Just as they think the digital danger is gone, the victim's phone suddenly rings again.
Hello?
Stupid. What you doing with her? You're taking that money from her?
No.
Sure.
No, I'm keeping her from getting it to you.
And how you are helping her to get that money? We already got that.
No, you've already got the money? Well, that's good. You just gave me a confession.
How you are helping her now?
Because I'm going to be filing criminal charges against y'all.
You can't do anything, stupid.
Oh, I'm stupid?
So how you're...
They hang up on the scammer and set the woman's phone to block unknown incoming calls.
You're my knight in shining armor. Thank you.
Though the scammer is never found, the sergeant saves the elderly woman from losing $40,000 that day.
The scammer is never found. No shock. I don't know, what could have been accomplished. But, I've seen there's, I can't remember what it's called. There's a show where something called like Scam Busters, where they turn the tables on the scammers. And these guys are like tech whizzes, and they got a whole big setup and stuff like that. Yeah. Now, the cop couldn't have arranged like that instantly, but it seems to me, instead of like his ego, his anger got the best of him. It seems to me like it might have been better to try to like prolong the conversation, and I don't know if maybe nothing could have been done. But,
well, I mean, really, there's a certain dollar threshold that the FBI usually follows, and I don't know what that number is. It's changed, over the years, obviously, but they seem to be in the best position of investigating those types of calls because they almost always originate from overseas, and they have.
Yeah, Helen's asking why the call can't be tracked. Tracked to what? To India or some other country?
Correct.
Anybody can buy a phone number now since they broke up the phone monopolies. Anybody can buy any phone number, and that's why we were all plagued by these fucking spam calls all the time.
Yeah, I remember a couple of years back when my buddy and I owned the escape room in Connecticut, and one day in between rooms, I get a phone call. Now we're in Wallingford; they have their own private utility company, or the town utility company. So it's not UI, it's not EverSource. It's just the town one. So as soon as the caller with the Indian accent said that we were in arrears in our payments and that our power was going to be turned off because he represented EverSource, I immediately knew it had to be bogus because we weren't using EverSource. And so I played along with it. And then he finally said, well, you have to send $700 in gift cards, by the end of the day, or the power would be turned off. And I asked him what that was, the equivalency in goats. I said, because I understand you people trading goats more than in gift cards. And he got quite upset with me and had a couple of very unpleasant things to say. And that was
making fun of the man's culture, you xenophobic bigot.
Absolutely. He deserved all of it.
Well, our beloved audience is going to come on. There must be something that can be done. And look, I share the frustration, and I'm already frustrated daily, and some days more than others. My phone just keeps going over and over again, sometimes with these spam calls. And that's exactly how I react. So there must be something that can be done. And that would be interesting to look into that a little more. Is there any possible legislation, any pending regulation? Could anything be changed?
Well, I mean, I understand. I mean, how many years have they said, that they have the no more robo or whatever, the legislation that prohibited spam calls? It doesn't seem to change anything. I don't notice any difference.
No, it's getting worse, actually. The only thing that's getting better is my carrier, and I guess mine is AT&T, and I guess it's probably the same with all the other carriers. They're getting very good at identifying spam, because usually
they're flagging them as a possible spam call or known spam call.
Yeah, so they're doing a good job, but nonetheless, my phone keeps ringing. So.
Yeah.
Which isn't as bad as stealing thousands and thousands of dollars from an elderly person who doesn't understand what's going on.
I wasn't even aware they had crypto machines that were standalone like that.
Me neither. Me neither.
Yeah.
Go to this gas station and first she had to go to her bank and take out the cash, unless she has it at her house. I don't know.
That's a lot of money. Usually the bank will flag that transaction immediately, especially if it's an elderly person, and call the police and say, look, I suspect that there's some fraud being committed here because this person normally does not withdraw cash in large amounts.
Yeah, funny you should say that. I was just watching an interview that Tucker Carlson did with Catherine Austin Fitts, the economist, and he was saying that when he wanted to give his staff, I guess it was Christmas bonuses, and he wanted to give it to them in cash, maybe so they wouldn't have to report it. I don't really know the reason, but the point is, he went, I don't know if he went or somebody who works for him tried to withdraw the cash from the bank. I think it was Wells Fargo. They wouldn't allow it because they were suspicious that some criminal was forcing them to do it.
Well, I will share this with you quickly, as quickly as I can. A good friend of mine was on his computer one day and got a call that his McAfee antivirus protection had been compromised and he needed to upgrade. And this person is retired, but was a professional person. Not a certainly not a nitwit or a naive person. I wouldn't say, but the person on the phone was so convincing, got him to log on and access his computer, and then type in certain commands. And now that person was controlling his computer, and then said he had this virus and that all of his files were in danger and it was going to be locked up and he wouldn't be able to retrieve it. And he needed to upgrade his virus protection. And somehow, it was only going to be, I don't know, like $500 for like 5 years. And then the guy said, I made a mistake and I made it for 5,000. I'm going to get fired if I can't correct this. I need you to go to your bank. And of course, I'm listening to his story, and he's shaking his head, in disbelief. He says, as I'm telling this story, I sound like an idiot. He said, but at the time, he says, I was completely convinced it was legitimate, and I felt bad for this guy on the phone who was trying to help me initially, and now I'm trying to help him. And cut to the chase, the guy was like, don't hang up, keep me on the phone. You're going to go to your bank, and you're going to give them this routing number. And if they ask you why you're trying to transfer all this money, tell them that you're buying frozen fish in Vietnam. Of course, at this point now, I have food coming out of my mouth because I think like this is so absurd that I can't even keep a straight face, even though I'm trying to be sympathetic. And he's laughing, at this point because he realizes how absurd it sounds. But fortunately, the teller, when he told her that, said, is this person on the phone with you right now? And he said, I can hear the person on my phone yelling, don't tell her I'm on the phone with you. He says, through the phone, I can hear him saying this. He said, and I was nodding my head up and down, yes, that he was. And she's like, you have to hang up. This is a scam. He says, and then I did. He said, but he goes, at that point, I was convinced that it was a legitimate transaction.
Yeah, well, I don't know exactly when that happened, but I think we're all on a trajectory, and it's not the same trajectory in all cases as to how aware we are of the scam. So as time goes on, more and more people are more and more hip to it. But they're constantly people making all kinds of efforts to do it.
Yeah.
I'm always getting invoices that aren't really, for anything I bought, and then I just ignore it. But some people get upset, they call, and then who knows what happens when they call.
Right.
Another wacky one that I've had, I think 2 or 3 times maybe, is I'll get an email and they say they've taken over my camera, and they can see the naughty things I'm doing when I'm watching porn, and you have to give us thousands of dollars, or else I'm going to tell all your friends and relatives, and I've got all your contacts now. So, porn is popular. That's a numbers game. They do that over and over again.
Sure.
And some people who may be doing naughty things will freak out and think, oh my God.
Yeah, I'll be ruined.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many scams, boy.
Yeah. Well, they play the numbers, if they make 100 cold calls a day, and only one of them has to work for them to have a good day.
Yeah. Little do they know I'm not embarrassed by anything. I'm like, go ahead, tell all my friends and relatives. I don't care. All right, let's move on to another video. This is a new crime fighting. Oh, no, let's do, we were talking before we went on earlier about urban unrest and how people are just getting fed up. And I told you that I have something that exemplifies what you were referring to. Do you remember that?
I do.
Well, I wasn't fibbing, sir. I was not fibbing at all. Here it is.
New video tonight of looters ransacking an AutoZone store in East LA. This is one of 2 AutoZones hit by burglars overnight. This one is at Olympic Boulevard and Atlantic Avenue. You can see in this video people going in and out of the store, some of them walking out with armloads of merchandise, many with their faces covered. Windows and doors were already boarded up from another break-in the night before. That also happened during a street takeover. The manager says the store will be closed at least 2 to 3 days, while wiring and electrical systems will have to be repaired. Employees won't be paid while the store is closed, so far no word on any arrests.
2 or 3 days. It seems like that might be a 2-month ordeal to put that store back into shape.
Yeah, I mean, how many wiper blades in cans of Armor All can you possibly want?
The brazenness of it and the numbers of people is astounding. And it happened to right after the store was already broken into and was boarded up. How long does it take for the police to be advised that something like this is going on?
Well, I mean, plus the fact that it happened the night before, you would think they'd be a little more aware of this type of activity.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the lights are on in the store. It's not like it's hard to spot it from a couple of blocks away.
This is Los Angeles, where shoplifting is not even enforced unless it's over, I think, $950.
But this is burglary, so this is a felony charge.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is just going to make retail businesses go out of business or just close that particular location, and then it's like, you know, the local people won't have it. You know, they'll have to drive somewhere else or buy it online or something. You know,
correct.
That's happening to a lot of retail stores.
A lot of the Walgreens and CVS stores are going through the same thing.
Yeah, and if they're still open, you have to wait while the guy unlocks a lock case to buy a tube of toothpaste or something.
Yep. Yep.
Man, that's why I'm a semi-misanthrope. Have I told you my theory about that?
No.
Well, I feel we need a new word. I'm so down on the majority of my fellow humans that it's like borderline misanthrope, but I think the definition of a misanthrope is somebody who hates the entire human species. That's not me. But as time goes on, the percentage of people who I like, and you are in that category, by the way, is relatively small. So I think we need a new word that means semi-misanthrope. That's what I am.
That's the sort of I love mankind, it's the people I hate approach.
Something like that. Until such time as a new word is invented, I guess I'll just go with semi-misanthrope. All right.
Okay.
This last video is not, I don't think it's the police. I think these are security guards. This, you know how when people run onto the field at a baseball game or at some other sporting
Yeah, there's usually
event.
a mix of private security and uniformed police, yeah.
Right. So this was at Yankee Stadium. It was more than one person. I think it was two people, if I'm not mistaken, which makes it a little bit more entertaining and difficult to corral than when it's more than one person. So this happened at Yankee Stadium. Tell me if you agree. These must be security guards. I know this is edited in a weird way. I can't tell how long it's been going on, but
yeah,
it looks like it was going on for a while. Some of the fans are chanting, "Use the taser." That's what they're saying. What do you make of the techniques, Greg?
Well, I'm surprised that they don't have a uniformed officer involved at that point, because usually the security is sort of on the field and for that type of a situation, but then there's usually uniformed officers nearby that are assigned there just to make an official arrest and get that person out of there. So
yes, well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because this is an example of what you mock me for, a citizen's arrest. Yeah, that's what's going on here, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Now, the risk that you take when you make a citizen's arrest is that you could be sued for false arrest or whatever, just as the police could. But generally, the police are backed up by the agency that hired them. Maybe not always, but often. But if you're not a professional law enforcement officer, you're just an ordinary person, then you might be incurring some serious liability. The New York Yankees have deep pockets, so it's probably not a huge risk for the security guards. I'm sure if they were sued, the Yankees would take care of it.
Well, usually, I mean, my understanding would be that the Yankees would hire a security organization, and there's some very, very, large ones, and they're usually bonded by an insurance company to cover their employees in the event that they do get sued and have to litigate it in court.
Well, do you think that's what we were just looking at, such a company, or do
Yeah,
you think these
probably,
are like
private
these
security
aren't like
company.
groundskeepers, the guy who puts the tarpaulin on the field, doubling as security guards?
Now, when it comes to the New York Yankees, I wouldn't think so. Maybe like double A ball or something like that, but not for the Yankees.
Right. Well, speaking of sports, Thursday night, our guest is going to be. Hang on a second here. I'm going to get this right one of these years. Christine Brennan. She's a very well-known veteran sports journalist.
I think I see her in the crowd there somewhere.
Oh God, I know. I screwed up again. There's a new. It's a new
sweat it.
setup. It's a new setup here. Where's
Don't
the Yankee
sweat it.
Stadium? All right. There we go. Hey, I did it. Christine Brennan is a well-known sports journalist, and she is the author of a book about Caitlin Clark, and it's entitled Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports, and she is our guest Thursday night on The Whiners, so check it out.
That should be good.
Have you been caught up in the fever?
You know what? I watch the clips that come on the news shows when they cover it. I don't watch the games themselves. I rather just watch the highlights and listen to the commentary. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to even avoid, even if you're trying to, because it gets so much attention now.
Yeah, it's a great story. What's going on with her? It touches on so many different topics and subtopics. It's not just a sports story. There's racial elements. There's the gender or the sexual preference.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm reading the book. I'm doing my preparation for it and learning about it. Yeah. I used to, when I was a kid, I was a sports fanatic. You know, both playing it all the time and also following the professional sports teams in Yale, which is the college team near where I lived. And then I completely lost interest in sports for many years.
And now you're kind of coming back.
I'm starting to get into it a little bit. What happened? We just lost your audio. Say that again.
Yeah, no, you did too. You froze up there for a couple of seconds and then was trying.
Oh, don't blame it on me. It was your fault.
Okay. No, it sounds like you're starting to swing back a little bit again.
Yeah, a little bit. Like I got into watching the Knicks playoffs. That guy Brunson.
Yes.
What's his? Yeah. Brunson's a very talented guy.
Oh my God! What a great series that was. That's probably the first time I actually started to follow an NBA, finals game. Yeah.
Yeah, it got me back to the feeling I used to have when I was a kid. There was something about the way the whole city of New York got into that.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun.
Yes.
And now I'm in the same boat that a lot of male sports fans are, which is that I can't believe I'm actually following women's basketball.
Oh.
That's what so many people have said in response to what's going on with Caitlin Clark, and to a lesser degree, some of the other players, including her foxy teammate Sophie Cunningham. Yes,
yeah. I never got that same buzz about the soccer. That completely eluded me. I didn't watch a single minute.
Yeah, well, men's soccer isn't popular in the U.S. either. So why would women's soccer be?
I was going to say neither. I mean, I hear people talking about it. I hear people, and I'm like, I can't watch it. I just find it horribly boring and frustrating and tedious. I don't know what it is. And I sound like a boob when I say it, because some people are just...
Yeah, you're entitled. What do you make of these Olympic sports that are otherwise ignored, like the figure skating and then gymnastics? People go crazy over some of these like cute, very talented figure skaters, like that woman up in Oakland, I forget her name, with the weird thing on her teeth, who just was a big star in the Winter Olympics. Like everybody fell in love with her. It was a real big deal. But when it's not the Olympics, nobody pays attention to figure skating or gymnastics or track and field too. Like, you ever see anybody say, "Hey, who won the shot putting contest last night?" Yeah, no,
it's a very, it's not seasonal, but it's a very, I don't know, specific to the Olympics kind of interest type of a thing.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. But basketball, baseball, football, obviously the big three. And for me, basketball was the number one sport when I was a kid, for me.
Yeah.
That was the sport I was pretty good at and played it a lot. Anyway, so check that out Thursday night and tomorrow night, Wednesday night, Ask the Inspector with Scott Ritter. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Jeff.
My pleasure du jour. And thanks to our beloved audience. See you next week, everybody.
Good night.